Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's me, Crazyfrankie, and I'd like to welcome you to my Week 14 4 key game picks. Before we talk about week number 14, let me just give you a quick little note here. Right around this time in the NFL season, I like to post up the current AFC and NFC 1 through 7 seeds. So from now on until the last video of the season, of the regular season, you will see a little text window pop up given the current standings of the AFC and NFC conferences, the seeds 1 through 7. So that way I don't need to read it to you guys. You can just read it off there, and also you can search the internet and see what the current seeds both in both conferences are. Anyways, talking about week number 13 last week. Obviously, the story really from week number 13 really is the Patriots' dominance. Yep, as much as a lot of us were glad that, especially those who really hate the Patriots, we were happy that they were irrelevant last year. But unfortunately, the dominance is back. I hate to give credit where credit is due. You have to give it up to Bill Belichick and Steve Belichick. I mean, basically, they've done a fantastic job with the defense. The Bills really had no answer in Monday night's game. Sean McDermott really did a poor job in play calling, and it almost looked like Josh Allen just, I don't know what kind of play calling Sean McDermott did, and knowing that Josh Allen basically threw the ball a lot, other than the Mac Jones going only 2 for 3 in passes. So I hate to say it, folks, that if you're a Patriot hater, it's kind of safe for the time being right now. The Patriots seem like now the team to beat in the AFC conference. But other than teams winning in the on Sunday, like the Chiefs, the mostly division leaders, except for Baltimore, they lost to the Steelers on a last-second 2-point conversion, and it wasn't easy for them. And it's just a matter of time before we wonder now who might be the best team now in the AFC. But really right now, the Patriots currently hold that position right now. So it's going to be tough to say how this is going to play out. Now in the NFC, Arizona's still continuing their winning ways. They were fortunate they got the Bears and they beat them. And other than that, it's real. I mean, for the time being, Arizona may control most of the NFC right now in terms of the number 1 seed, but really their team's really jockeying for position right now, like the Buccaneers, the Packers. Even though the Packers were on their bye week, they were fortunate enough not to worry about playing, but they do have a tough couple of games coming up very soon, and and that's not this week though, because they got the Bears. That's a game they should easily win, but they do have the Colts. That's going to be a tough game, and some other teams on the schedule, like the Ravens. They also got them up there, so that could affect playoff positioning in one way or another. But really, right now, the NFC right now, it's really tough to say. I mean, Arizona's starting to make their case, but I still think, in my opinion, the Packers are the team to beat right now, or maybe the Buccaneers. Anyways, let's talk about week number 14. All right, let's begin with key game number 1. It is the Buffalo Bills versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs are a 3-point favorite in this one here, and I would say that's just about right. Now, Tom Brady in a big win last week over the Falcons. We won 38-51, 318 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he had 1 interception. Josh Allen for the Bills in a tough loss against the Patriots. He went 15 of 30, 145 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions. This is going to be quite a toss-up here. Look, the Bills really need to show some toughness here, because this is really going to be tough for the Bills to really go up against. If there's one team that Tom Brady knows very well, and that is the Bills, because of the time of the Patriots, and he had the Bills to face every 2 years. So he knows this team very well, even with different quarterbacks and the way their play calling and different coaches have been with that team. For the Bills to win this game, they got to be I think it's more in line of discipline here. I don't know what Sean McDermott has done in these last few games. It seems like the Bills are out of sync, and they haven't shown any discipline at all. Now I'm starting to wonder maybe if all that talent may be going to waste for Josh Allen, because this guy has a good arm. But lately, I think it's just the bad play calling it's just that the bad play calling from Sean McDermott really has Josh Allen wondering if he's really doing too much. For the Buccaneers here, it's plain and simple here. Their offense just needs to stay intact. Their defense has already starting to wake up into fruition, and they're really doing a fantastic job of holding opponents pretty well, even though you could say that they had a tough game against the Colts a couple of weeks ago, and that makes awful sense. But with the Falcons, they did a good job in stopping them. So it's really tough to say who wins this game here, but I just got to go with the Buccaneers here. I think that the Bucs offense is just more disciplined than the Bills are. The Bills had a lot of issues running the ball last week against the Patriots, and I just hate to say it. I just really hate to say it. I just think that the Buccaneers are just going to roll over on the Bills. I apologize, Mike. I apologize, people who are watching my video. It's just my cat. Get down, get down. Anyways, so yeah, the Buccaneers, I think, will win this game for sure, because really their offense is just a tad better, and they're just a bit more disciplined than the Bills' offense is, and the Bills' defense, really, they got to really fix some problems up front and in the secondary. Otherwise, I could just see Tampa Bay winning this game in a close game, but I think the Bucs pull this out here. I'm going to take the Buccaneers -3 on this one here. Buccaneers over the Bills. Key game number 2, the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Minnesota Vikings. This is very critical for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were lucky to get a win last week against the Ravens, but now this is another game that they have to have just to keep pace in the playoff hunt. Minnesota pretty much is falling out of contention. Talking about this game mostly, it's about the Steelers here. Minnesota pretty much, they're falling out of contention, even though technically they're still alive for a wild card berth. But I just see them now in complete danger of not even making the postseason at all. The Vikings are actually a 3-point favorite in this one, as the odds makers have it, but I don't buy it at all. I wouldn't be surprised if that number goes to 2.5, maybe 2 points. Roethlisberger went 21 of 31, 236 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Cousins went 30 of 40, 340 yards, 2 TDs, and no interceptions. Minnesota's defense has to really rise up here. Look, Pittsburgh's starting to make a move, and they're pretty much starting to get back in sync here. Even though they did lose to the Chargers a couple of weeks ago, even though that was kind of I don't know if that was really, you could kind of say it was sort of a fluke, but then Pittsburgh loses the following week. I think it was to the Bengals, yeah. But I really think now for the Steelers here. Look, they won a tough game against the Ravens, and that was big. And this is a game they need to, on a short week, they have to prove it against the Vikings that their team they should be watching out for. The Vikings having issues offensively, and they lost to the Lions, giving the Lions their first victory of the season. You could blame a lot of it more on the defense. But I really think I look at it from this point here. Pittsburgh is just, they're hungry. They're hungry for victories right now. And especially from latest reports, this could be Ben Roethlisberger's final year. He's already speculating the chance of possibly retiring. So I have to look at it from a standpoint here. Pittsburgh's offense starting to look in sync. Their defense is starting to get a little bit healthy. J.J. Watt played last week, so I think their defense will definitely give the Vikings issues here. I'm going to go with the Steelers here. Definitely going to pick the Steelers here, +3 in this game here. The Steelers over the Vikings. Key game number 3, a big one in the NFC West. It's the Rams versus the Cardinals. The Cardinals are a 2.5-point favorite in this one here, and I would say that's about right. The Rams, fortunate enough to get a victory last week to play the lonely Jaguars, and I don't know. I'm not ready to buy yet that the Rams are starting to look more in sync. I mean, you can't judge everything by one game. It's very difficult to see with all these new current acquisitions that the Rams have gotten. It's just that the last 3 games, they haven't shown much. And it's really becoming an issue here for the Rams. They have really got to do something to get in sync here. And it could not have come at a worse time in the schedule when you're facing the Cardinals, who are slowly starting to get healthy here. Now, Stafford went 26 of 38, 295 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, in a must-win game against the Jaguars, and they got the victory. Now, Kyle Murray went 11 of 15, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions here. It is really tough to say how the Rams will play out in this game here, because they really have got to do something here against Kyle Murray here. Now, I look at it from the defensive standpoint. Can the defense of the Rams get to Kyle Murray? Tough to really say how this is going to play out here. They got a tough task at hand here. And I think you're going to know what I'm going to go with here. I kind of going towards the Cardinals here, that I just think that the Arizona Cardinals are going to win here because of the fact that the defense is going to have big time issues here stopping Kyle Murray. He's starting to look better after the ankle injury. And I got to see a lot from the Rams if they look more in sync. Or have they finally got their act together offensively? Now, Arizona's defense, I mean, look, they've been pretty average. And this is where Stafford and the offense really needs to really make a statement here in this game. But I just think here the Rams, I don't know if I'm ready to buy that they are ready to come in sync in this one here. I'm going to pick the Arizona Cardinals here. The Rams got to prove it on the field that last week's game against the Jaguars could be the start of a winning streak. But the way the Cardinals are playing right now, I just don't see them winning this game here. I like the Arizona Cardinals here. I mean, they already beaten the Rams in the first meeting here, and I can see a complete sweep coming up here in this one here. I'm going to take the Cardinals at -2.5 here. Definitely going to pick the Cardinals over the Rams. And finally, key game number 4, it is the Raiders versus the Chiefs. This is the Raiders' last opportunity to really try to stay pace in the wild card berth. Now, Kansas City still currently holds an edge in the AFC West right now. They're only one game back right now of the Chargers, but this is a game they need to say to the Raiders here that this is still the Chiefs' division here, because in a few weeks, the Chiefs will play the Chargers one more time. Now, Derek Carr went 28 of 38, 249 yards, no touchdowns, and no interceptions. Now, Patrick Mahomes, 15 of 29, 184 yards, no touchdown, and 1 interception here. The way the Raiders played last week against Washington, you just can't feel good about this team right now. They are completely out of it. They're not in sync offensively, and defensively, they're just giving up too many big plays. And I hate to make this short and sweet here. I mean, the Chiefs are a 9.5-point favorite in this one here, and that is just about right. The Raiders have to really make a statement in this game in order to prove that they're still a playoff contender. But they've really completely fallen apart here. I hate to say it here, if you're a Raiders fan, that I just don't see it happening here against the Chiefs. The Raiders are completely a mess right now, and I just don't see them winning against the Chiefs here. I'm going to make this short and sweet here. I like the Chiefs at -9.5 here, plain and simple here. The Raiders got to prove that they're not out of it yet, but I just don't see it happening here. Offense-wise, they have too many issues. Defense-wise, they got too many problems. I like the Chiefs in this one here at -9.5 here. Chiefs over the Raiders. I apologize if you notice some things were happening here. Obviously, I as you know, I do have a pet here, and you have seen him in my videos there. I apologize for it, but I try to do everything all in one take, and I have to go through with one take here because it takes a while not only to process the videos, and anybody who does video content knows how long rendering takes, even if you have a very good fast computer. Anyways, enough of my jibber-jabbering here, guys. That's it for my Week 14 4 key game picks. For all of my Week 14 picks, please check the description below. And once again, I apologize for a little bit of movement here. That's the thing when you're dealing with a pet. All right, guys. I'll talk to you next week when I make my picks for week number 15 as we're getting inches closer to the end of the regular season. I'll talk to you guys next week. Take care and enjoy your football weekend.